We have been traveling the rich lands of East Africa, far and wide, across the highlands and lowlands of this beautiful region, talking to farmers wherever we go.
We have given them the help and knowledge they need to improve their farming methods,
increase their income, and turn their farms into good business for the future.
Join us and our experts on this journey across East Africa and share the family's experiences as they make these changes.
Karibu to the Shamba Shape-Up Safari. Where is Naomi? Naomi! Welcome to Shamba Shape-Up.
We are in Kemotua in Machakos County.
Lots of work to be done, so let's get on with it.
What's wrong with you? Yeah, why didn't you wait for us? Why didn't you wait for us? We waited for you.
You decided to take the bicycle.
No. You should have taken the bicycle.
What
I should have
happened?
taken what you took. You're so selfish.
You had a
You
punch
are
up.
so selfish.
Today we are visiting the Shamba of Cecilia and Philip. Cecilia is not only a farmer, but she's also a vet. They are organized farmers who raise cattle, chickens, and goats. Their farm has many fruit trees. And they both belong to farmers groups. Philip and Cecilia, we are very happy to be here in Kemotua. Are you happy to see us?
Yes.
Good. Philip, how long have you lived here?
It's around 43 years.
43 years. So you were born here. Cecilia, what about you?
Have more than 10 years.
So you came.
Yeah.
He brought you here.
Yeah.
For over 10 years now.
Yeah.
How has it been?
It has been good.
Yes.
The love has been fine.
Wonderful.
Wonderful.
How many kids do you have?
3 kids.
Do they all love farming?
Yes.
When do they farm?
After they close the school,
So immediately they close the school,
we do
Jembe,
farm.
straight to the farm.
Straight to the farm.
No jokes.
No jokes.
Do they like it?
Yes.
Good. Wonderful.
So Philip, what crops do you have in your farm?
Yeah, in my farm, I have avocados, maize, beans. Sometimes I grew sorghum. We also farm vegetables like tomatoes and chilies.
And do you have cows?
Yeah, I have cows.
How many cows?
I've got 4 grade cows, and we have got 6 locals.
So Cecilia, how are the cows?
The guys are doing good, except these diseases, East Coast fever, foot and mouth, they attack our cows.
How's your sorghum?
The sorghum was doing good. We harvested almost 5 bags,
Right.
but we had no market to sell.
Now Kemotua is very dry. Cecilia, how do you water your crops?
We irrigate. After we fetch it with the cart and the bulls, we irrigate it.
How far is the water from here?
2 kilometers.
That's a lot of work. And then you also need
Yeah.
the water for the cows, you need the water to irrigate, and water for you to drink.
Yes,
It's lots of work, isn't it?
yes.
And we also, in Shamba Shape-Up, have got experts who we have come with. They'll assist with your sorghum, assist in some of your crops, see what you can do about your cows. Try and see how you can help out with the water problem. How does that sound?
Yeah, it's going to be okay.
We'll be happy.
You'll be happy.
Yes.
And to make sure that you are shipped up. Good.
Cecilia keeps 10 cows on her farm, but she and her neighbors have had problems with the disease called East Coast fever. I asked an expert from Sidai what could be done. So, Wycliffe, what is ECF?
ECF is in full is East Coast fever. It's a disease of cattle and it's transmitted by ticks. which we call brown ear ticks.
And so, Cecilia, have you vaccinated your cows before against ECF?
No.
So what are the symptoms of ECF?
So if your cow has got ECF, you'll see symptoms like enlargement of lymph nodes, salivation. The cow will be anorexic. This means that it will lack appetite. And if it's a milk-producing cow, definitely there'll be no milk that day. And then the cow will look dull.
And Cecilia, have you noticed that in your cows?
Yes, I've noticed it.
So what Wycliffe can she do?
What Cecilia needs to do is to vaccinate our cows against East Coast fever.
If your cow catches East Coast fever, it can cost between 4,000 and 6,000 shillings to treat, and there's no guarantee it will recover. On the other hand, the vaccine costs 1,000 shillings per animal, and the vaccination lasts for life.
Once you vaccinate your animals, you get a lifetime immunity, meaning you're not going to repeat that vaccination.
Another benefit, after you vaccinate against ECF, you will only have to spray your animals once every 2 weeks, saving you money on acaricides. The dose of the vaccine is enough for 40 cows. So, Cecilia needs to get her neighbor's cows together to use all the vaccine. The vaccine is not sold over the counter. Get in touch with your local vet, who will in turn get in touch with a group of trained CDI experts to do the vaccination. They will explain the risks before they vaccinate.
And is there a side effect of vaccination?
The method of vaccination is, we call it infection and treatment method. Actually, what we are doing, we are infecting your cow with ECF and then we treat it. So what will happen, we expect some cows to react. And for actually some cows will come down with ECF, some, a percentage. Some of them, but not all. A few will come down with ECF, which will be treated and then they'll recover. The following day, you could see some cows limping just because of the injections. But that's not a big deal, but they'll be able to recover in a short while.
Yeah. That's interesting. So she shouldn't panic when her cow is, you know, affected.
Yeah, not at all. We monitor the animals for 3 weeks before we give up on them.
Good morning. Today, we are going to learn about a disease which is called East Coast fever.
The good news is Cecilia and Philip are members of 2 farmer groups where they share important information and financial resources.
East Coast fever is a fatal disease.
The farmers meet regularly, which is good.
So farmers, I recommend you to vaccinate your animals.
But it turns out they aren't doing everything right. We brought in an expert from Agra to tell us more.
Cecilia, good to see you. How are you? Fine. Okay.
If you want to go fast, you go alone. But if you want to go far, you go in a group.
Pauline, we got some farmers together as you requested. Now tell us, why is it important for farmers to be in a group?
To be able to go far, you need to get together so that you can attain what we call economies of scale. When you do things together, it is cheaper. For example, if you're trying to access seeds, it is cheaper when you go with a bigger order than if you go by yourself.
So what about marketing?
Marketing is very crucial, especially when you're a small scale farmer like a lot of farmers are here in Kenya. It's harder to be able to access a market on your own. But when it comes to marketing as a group, what happens is that you can aggregate your produce, you can bring it to a central place, and then traders, whether be it a supermarket or a large-scale buyer of that produce, can come and collect it. So it's cheaper for you and it's cheaper for them. Therefore, it's easier to do business.
How do we get better price for our produce?
The way to get better price a lot of times depends on the quality of produce that you have on offer. So if I'm a trader and I'm coming to you for produce, I must be able to get that produce on the day that I promised to come and you said you would have that produce, and it must be the quantity that I had asked for. And then the other thing we look at is the physical quality of the produce. Physical quality means if I'm a maize trader and I have said I need maize grade A, which is white, which is this size, which is not broken, it has to be that. So that's how to gain a better price.
The other question is about financing. We are younger farmers. Where will we get the finances to start up?
Financing is a very crucial issue when it comes to agriculture, because you need financing at every point of your farming business. There are many sources of finance, but what happens is people who give finances, mainly banks or circles, prefer to work with organized groups because it is cheaper for them. It brings down what we call the transaction costs. So you need to have formalized structures as a group for people to be able to give you finances. First, the group has to be registered. You have to be a formal group. You must have a registration certificate. And then the group has to be organized. You have to have a leadership structure. You must have a constitution. So when I come to you as a financier, those are the things I'm looking for.
It is important to keep careful records of your meetings, how much you have sold, and how much money your group has made.
As a financier, when I come, I'll be looking at your records. What is your past? What does your past say? For example, how much produce have you been aggregating as a group? Have you accessed any finance before? If this is your first time, do you have a business plan that tells me this is where the group is looking to go, and therefore I can count on that for you to be able to pay back my money?
Does your group have those structures?
No.
You don't have a constitution?
No.
If you are a well-organized group, you will save money on inputs, you will get better prices for your products, and you'll be able to access financing from banks and circles.
So, Pauline, will you be able to help them get those kind of structures in their groups by assisting, tell them how they should structure them out?
Yes, that is something I would gladly do. Then we can work together to see how we can help you now to get to the next level.
Thank you. Farmers, are you happy?
Yes.
Come! Ow!
Hey, Naomi. Now listen, I'm sorry about earlier on about the motorbike and the bicycle. And if there's anything I can do for you, anything, just ask.
Help! We have 40 cows to vaccinate. Please help me.
Oh, you want me to help you vaccinate 40 cows?
Yes, please.
Now listen, I need to learn more about sorghum mid-season. Sorghum mid-season, vaccinate cows. I'm going to deal with sorghum and see how I can help out there.
Oh, typical. I knew it. You can't even help me. You're selfish. Come! Come!
Cecilia and Philip used to grow sorghum. Why did you stop, Cecilia?
There was no ready market.
No market for it.
No market for it.
At all.
At all.
So Jacob, why should Cecilia and Philip grow sorghum?
Because one is drought tolerant. It will do well in this region. It is not likely to die like other crops will do. Second, we have a ready market for sorghum as long as you grow the white variety, that is mainly Gadam and Sila. You can use the sorghum as a food crop, so you can use it for your own domestic use, for making foodstuff and also for as animal feed.
Now, Cecilia and Philip are small-scale farmers.
Yes.
What amount of sorghum do you recommend that they plant?
Well, since they are small-scale farmers, I would suggest that they mobilize. They come together as a village and grow as a group.
If you grow sorghum in a group, you will spread the loss of birds eating your harvest to other farmers, as you're not the only one growing sorghum. As a group, you'll be able to produce more sorghum, and this makes it easier to find buyers.
How much sorghum do you buy?
We currently do not have enough sorghum for our market. We are projecting at a demand of around 45,000 metric tons come next year.
What kind of sorghum do you usually buy from farmers?
We require white sorghum. Currently, we have Sila and we have Gadam. The sorghum should be clean, it should be dry, and it should be free of dirt.
Where can farmers get the knowledge they need about sorghum?
We have the Kenya Agricultural Research Institute, and right now they currently have a demo plot where we can actually visit.
Oh, you want to take us to Kari?
Sure.
The farmers, how does that sound?
Good.
Yeah. I think that would be very helpful to the farmers, Jacob. Yep. We are now off to Karikatumani to learn more about sorghum, and we'll see you right after the break. Okay, let's go. Welcome back to Shamba Shape Up. We are talking about sorghum. We are at Karikatumani to see their sorghum. and it's windy and it's raining. Mr. Arithi, would you recommend farmers to plant sorghum and why?
Sorghum, actually, I would recommend it 100% because you plant sorghum 10 times, you'll be able to harvest 7 out of 10. And then also money in the pocket because East African breweries, they are ready to buy.
Now tell us, what is mid-season?
Mid-season is when you do the operations before you get to harvest your sorghums. And the first operation you do after planting, it is weeding.
The first weeding should be done 2 weeks after germination.
The second weeding, you do it the 3rd to 4th week after germination. Very, very crucial.
Weeding is very important. If you don't weed, you will lose a lot of your crop, as much as 1 bag a day for every day you don't weed. What else should a farmer do during mid-season? Maybe top dressing, taking care of pest control.
Top dressing, actually, it is also very important if you see the sorghum yellowing, the leaves becoming yellow.
When plants are 1.5 feet high or knee high, apply a teaspoon of CAN fertilizer around the base of each plant and dig the fertilizer into the soil.
You should also be checking on diseases. You should also be checking on insect pests. And the first insect pests, you see it during the first weeding. And that insect pest, it is called shoot fly, sorghum shoot fly. The shoot fly, you can be able to detect that one very easily by looking at the growing leaf. It starts drying off. If you remove it, you smell it, it has got a bad smell, rotting smell. There is also another insect pest which comes a lot later. It is called sorghum stalk borer. That one you can be able to tell, to differentiate it from the first one by looking at the leaves, whether they have windows.
To treat shoot fly, spray with a chemical called dimethoate. The amount will be written on the packet. For stalk borer, you can put a pinch of beta-cyflothrin granules into the funnel of the plant. And if a farmer follows your instructions, is it going to get a bumper harvest?
Definitely you get a bumper harvest. Minimum amount you harvest per acre is 10 bags.
Thank you, Mr. Arithi. After learning all about sorghum, we went back to the Shamba to see what else Cecilia can grow. Cecilia has many fruit trees on her Shamba, which is good. But turns out she could be planting even more trees. Esther, the tree expert, came to tell us why. Esther, very nice to see you. Now tell us, what are the importance of trees?
Trees on farm have different benefits. One of the benefits is that you can use fruit trees, which will give fruit and improve the nutrition of the children. You can also use another variety of trees. For example, we have fodder trees, which have many benefits on the farm. One, they are good for helping to conserve the soil or stabilizing the soils along the soil contours. They are also good because the farmer can use them as a source of protein for their animals. And finally, they are also good because you can use them for fuel wood.
What would you recommend for Cecilia to plant?
Now that I can already see Cecilia has invested a lot in fruit trees, I would advise her to diversify or to add a little more varieties on farm. I would introduce a new type of trees called fodder trees.
What are fodder trees?
Fodder trees are small, short shrubs that farmers can plant on farm. They intercrop well with other crops. They also can provide shade. When your farm is well shaded, we take care of the organic matter in the soils, and that will help your crops to grow better. And finally, the trees can also be used for fuel wood, so you will not have to cut down your trees.
Yes. So I can take any tree. Do you use any tree, or there are special trees that you intercrop?
You do not just use any trees, because some other trees will use the nutrients that you require for your crops to feed. So there are specific trees that you can use. For example, we have one called Cariadra. This is a Cariadra tree. This one helps to fix nitrogen.
During the rains, nutrients can be carried deep into the soil. Fodder trees like Cariadra have roots that grow deep into the soil, where they reach nutrients and bring them back up. Calandria also fixes nitrogen at the roots and releases it back into the soil to help the crops grow.
When you plant these, when the leaves fall down, they will finally decompose, forming some kind of manure and also some kind of mulching on the soils to prevent and take care of your soils. Finally, we have another variety. This is called mulberry. If Cecilia has a place where her land is very steep, I can advise that she plants this. This will help to prevent the soil erosion and she can use it as a fodder.
Mulberry should not be planted around other crops because its roots will take the nutrients that the crops need. Instead, mulberry should be planted in steep areas to help stabilize the soil. So Esther, what is soil stabilization?
Okay, soil stabilization is the process of the tree roots going deep within the soil to hold the soil in place to ensure that the soils are not washed away.
3 months after planting, the fodder roots will be strong enough to stop soil erosion. You'll be able to enjoy all benefits of fodder trees within a year. Fodder trees will last 15 to 20 years.
Cecilia and Philip say they bring in their water using the cart and bulls because their water source is dry. So I asked an expert what they should do.
So Philip, this is a very dry area. So where do you get your water?
Yeah, I get water from the dam, from the nearby rivers, and also when it is very adverse, we buy it from lorries which take it around.
So water is a big problem.
It's a problem.
So Boniface, has the water problem always been like this?
No, long time ago, more than 30 years or so, we had no problem of water.
Right.
There was a lot of rain. All the rivers after the rain were full, and we had no problem of talking of shortage of food security or anything. We were very much satisfied. Then after that, there came this problem of climate change. We get very reliable rain or no rain. We are advising farmers in areas where it's very dry to have their own small water pans or dams or ponds.
We found a perfect place to dig a water pan where the farmers could harvest rainwater off a roof. So we dug a pan 10 meters long, 4 meters wide, and 3 meters deep. The sides of the pan should be sloped at 45 degrees. We lined it with dam liner and secured the liner with bricks so that the lining does not slip.
We need to secure the place.
Yeah, it's very important when a farmer has already dug the water pan.
Yes.
It's advisable you make sure that it's fenced off from the intruders, even the children, the goats, and also the human beings.
Oh, okay, so thank you.
Yeah.
Esther also told us that another good place to plant fodder trees is around the edge of the water pan. To plant Calandria, dig holes 2 feet deep and 2 feet wide. Plant the shrubs 2 meters apart and 2 feet from the edge of the water pan. Cover with soil and water.
The water pan is complete. Now the rains can come. Cecilia, I can see you're very happy.
I'm happy.
You're very happy?
Yes.
Yeah, we're also very happy to have been here.
Yes.
And what about you, Philip?
I'm also happy.
You're not showing you're happy.
I'm happy.
You are, in your heart. Yeah. Can you tell us what has made you happy?
The Shamba, you have made a visit to my Shamba. I have appreciated.
So you've learned a lot?
Yeah, I've learned a lot.
Yes. And Cecilia, what have you learned?
Water harvesting, planting feeds for my cows, the importance of vaccination.
You've learned a lot.
I've learned a lot and I'm happy.
Would you like us to come back again?
Yes.
And when we come back again, are we going to see a change?
You'll see a difference.
Yeah.
It's been yet another great show here in Machakos. See you next time on
Shamba Shape Up.
Shamba Shape Up is online. To learn more about today's topics Or to watch any of our previous episodes, visit shambashapup.com, select the episode and click play. You could also visit our Facebook page, Shamba Shape Up, to get more information, get involved in discussions, and also get a chance to enter some of our great competition to win great prizes. You can also find us on Twitter at Shamba Shape Up, or simply text 30606.